did change the rules about this instead of just being what was brand new, what had format changes, what had host changes, instead of making it a free-for-all. I had to figure out how to do current game shows justice, like Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, Family Feud, and the one that we're talking about right now, The Price is Right. Well, I think I've cracked it. So without further ado, come on down!
Here it comes! Television's most exciting hour of fantastic prizes! The fabulous 60-minute Price is Right! Here with the first 4 contestants on The Price is Right! And now, you're in the star of The Price is Right! The Price is Right.
The Price is Right is basically the game show in daytime nowadays. It was the show that kids watched while they were sick and home and wanted to be on when they went to college. This is the show that made Bob Barker, Rod Roddy the phrase, "Come on down!" and so many more things household items. I'm not going to bother you with the usual breakdown mentality of this show since not only is the show ongoing, but doing so would take about 5 hours, and let's be honest, my computer and myself can't handle it. So what I'm going to do is highlight some of the major moments that happened between January 1990 and the end of the 19th season, which is around July of 91. I'd like to thank the people at goldenroad.net for having that big FAQ, the big timeline of what everything happened on The Price is Right during that time period. I can't thank them enough for that. So let's get started with the last of one of the most memorable things I remember about 80s Price is Right, the home viewer showcase. On April 22nd, 1990, The Price is Right had their final home viewer showcase entitled Summer Fun. Basically, the home viewer showcase was another way for fans of the show to play the game at home. The viewer who sent in their bid, which was close to the actual retail price in dollars and cents, mind you, without going over, won the showcase. And I miss these sort of contests, although they would be impossible to do nowadays with the advent of the internet and all the pricing information is right there at our fingertips. These type of showcases are like the super showcases you would see on the Dennis James version of The Price is Right. And we packed with great stuff and are always worth seeing how they would tie it all together with the summer fun mentality. During this time, the producers decided to add a 4th model to the mix, and thus decided to do on-air tryouts. These sort of tryouts aren't anything new, since they've done this for the announcer position when Johnny Olsen died. These tryouts would go on throughout the end of season 18 and throughout season 19, and wind up with Kathleen Bradley joining the crew on Christmas Eve 1990, making her the first regular African-American model, and she did a great job. She played off the crew well and was a bright spot on the show. She would last until December 2000 when her and Janice would be let go. The reasoning behind this is awful. After Bob Barker lost his lawsuit for slander and defamation of character against Holly Hallstrom, Barker fired everyone whose testimony contradicted his. At best, it's a temper tantrum move when he didn't get his way. At worst, it's WCW Hulk Hogan levels of cuntiness that hasn't been duplicated in game shows since. The last half of this video will be discussing some pricing games. Now, 2 of these pricing games would be having changes made to them, but the first we're going to talk about is the one debut of this season, and that is the Gallery game. The Gallery game was hyped as being one of the many new games that would debut this season. It should be noted that it was the only new game to debut this season. Anyways, the contestant has shown a really high-end price in real life and is being immortalized in painting. The price is also shown, but part of a number is missing. The contestant must fill in that missing number correctly to win the prize. It's a really simple game, but not without a major imperfection to the artwork that is the Gallery game. Sometimes the hint given often throws off contestants more than it helps, and that is a deal breaker. Aside from that, it was a memorable game but wouldn't last long. Not many winners were had, and the Gallery shut down after 1 season. The concept of Gallery game would be revived with the quicker and exceptionally dull pick-a-number. While we're talking about pricing games, 2 current games got brought back this season. Pick-a-Pair would be brought back after a 2-year hiatus. Before the hiatus, Pick-a-Pair was done on a really weird Ferris wheel setup, which dragged the game down a bit and made the game longer than it needed to be. So they brought it back with a much simpler setup being used to this day. It also looks really cool, and I like this a lot more than the Ferris wheel format. The first few times it was brought back, it had really weird red lighting to it, but that was quickly replaced with blue lighting to go with the set's look. This set is a lot better than the Ferris wheel. Firstly, the game moves faster, we don't have to wait for items to come around. Secondly, the reveals of the item prices are a lot better with the light up blue screen on all of the bonus game windows. Pick-a-Pair was a good game to begin with, but it got improved with this set redesign and is now much better. Now, Make-A-Move also came back during this time period after being used for the first few months of 1989, and when it did come back, there were some changes. Now, instead of a 2-3-4 setup, there was a 2 3-digit and 4-digit setup, and one of the numbers had to overlap. Now, this made the game harder than it should, and it really confused a lot of contestants. So after those two playings, they reverted back to the 2-3-4 format. And that's it for this Price is Right retrospective of 1990 to 1991. When we come back to the games of 90, it's time to get ready to match the stars. Until next time, bye-bye!